welcome to Tea Party Review magazine. I'm Selena Owens, and I am one of the contributing writers. And I'd love to welcome you to our first publication, our inaugural issue, Tea Party Review magazine. Many people ask me, why is a magazine needed, or will it strengthen the movement? And to the first question, I say a magazine is needed because a lot of people like to have something tangible in their hands. They can open, they can look inside, they can take it with them. And many of them don't use internet, believe it or not, to get all of their news. They want something that they can take. Another reason why is that they want to support a Tea Party effort. We bring you fresh articles, we bring you illustrations never before released. We have creative writers that write specifically for us and don't write for somewhere else. And also, at least that article is not published somewhere else. So you really, really, really want to enjoy what's in Tea Party Review magazine. We're thinking about you, America. Thank you so much for supporting the Tea Party movement, and God bless you.
The usual suspects on the left, and they're an amalgam always of public sector unions who are called up and bussed in to create the overacting extra component of these rallies, where you can literally go up to them and say, "What are you thinking right now?" And they're like, "Nothing." They're honest about it. And this one, I'll get back to it, I hope. I mean, ADG's unpredictable, but but I just want to tell you what happened in a semi-linear fashion. Brandon and I got there, and we're in Palm Springs at Rancho Mirage, across from Rancho Las Palmas, where the Cokes are having their event. And as we get out, he's like, "Don't park here. This is where they all are." "No, I'm going to park here. I'm not worried about it. They're really not as smart as you think they are. I'm fine." And then I went to the back of my car, and Brandon says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm putting on my rollerblades. What do you think?" And so I put on my rollerblades, and I just started to do, just testing my moves for the rally. And had a camera, and we spent about 3 hours there watching the left community organize their way from a place where Van Jones and Robert Reich told them how evil these capitalists are, that are called the Koch Foundation, who not only create the jobs that the left wants to destroy, but they're also great philanthropists. I guess they're worthy of destruction. Versus an acorn, which aids in the pimps and prostitutes that are underage, or Planned Parenthood. How's the crown jewels of leftism going these days, guys? I hate to editorialize, but what sick, darkened hearts I see in the left. What happened? What happened? I don't know. I'm pretty cynical about these people. I don't know about you. And so I'm on my rollerblades, and I see Jody Evans, a neighbor of mine in Los Angeles from Code Pink, and I protested in front of her house on my rollerblades too. And I'm a former liberal, sort of, not really. Girls like saying that I was liberal when I was 20 years old, so I said I was. And I live in West Los Angeles, so I was at the Code Pink fundraiser for Jerry Brown. I thought, what on God's green earth is Jerry Brown taking money from the founder of Code Pink? This is just a fairly vile situation. So we brought in some people. They did all the theatrics. You know, they laid down in front of her house. And I started to watch a procession of people walk in in kind of their Sunday lefty church outfits, you know, because it was a day thing, and they were walking over the person who was laying there, and they were like, "Oh, this is horrible." I'm thinking, the leftists being protested, they can't handle it. They can't handle that we on the right would dare start doing some of the things that they do and one-up them. Rollerblades. And funny thing happened. I'm going to get back to the Coke thing. One after the other, my entire childhood walked right in front of me. Oh, I'm Mr. Moses. How are you? What are you doing here? I knew that he was involved in the Gary Hart campaign because I went to school with his son. And I saw probably about 3 or 4 people I knew. And they're like, "Hi, Andrew. Great to see you." And one took me off to the side and said, "This is so great. I'm so glad you're doing this. I disagree with everything you say, but I just love the protest. There are a few good hippies left." So I found out I was in Jody Evans's head, which is exactly where I want to live. Now let's cut to my rollerblade session in Palm Springs. We get on tape all these leftists. They've got all their chants. There was one video, and I haven't put it out yet, but they looked like they were from Rage Against the Machine. These guys, like 20-something punker guys, they looked like the kind of WTO trash can through the Starbucks template. And they were just sitting there in like this kind of thing, reading a playlist that was like the Rolling Stones, Give Me Shelter, like they actually had a chant list, not a song list, but a chant list. I was like, "I've got a camera, can I look at your chant list? That's the coolest thing in the world." I always thought this thing was totally spontaneous. Like, get away, get away! And I don't know what it is. 90% of these people didn't know who I was. Oh, the ones that knew who I was didn't like me and said nasty things to me. But as Guy alluded to, that's like my Pac-Man pellets. I live for the hate. And so I'm getting Pac-Man pellets, and I really gotta admit it, I'm still pretty good on rollerblades, and I'm just getting so many people to admit why they're there, and they're hate-filled, and they're racist. Exactly the things they accuse us of being, they freely offer. And we get it on videotape. We get one guy saying, "We need a revolution. I'm from Chicago," and he gave his name. I said, "What kind of revolution?" "You know what I mean, Egypt." I'm like, "Well, that's kind of creepy." And then the other guys were like, "Socialism, this is socialism." I go, "I knew that, but Katie Couric won't admit that this anti-Coke rally is capitalism, the Cokes, the job creators, versus the socialists." And the socialists are starting to get really freaked out because they thought that this was their moment, and it imploded like right away. And so they're now getting away from there are two groups within the left. They're the Marxist-Leninists that want to do the Che Guevara thing, and then they're the gradualists. And Barack Obama is the king of the gradualists. And now the Marxist-Leninists are pretty much in the mindset of, let's just have that revolution right now. But Katie Couric won't talk about that thing. So it gets to the point where they're across the street on the other side of the Rancho Las Palmas massive boulevard, and they're chanting for hours. But then they get into a position that looks like they're about to start the New York Marathon. I'm not really going to get to Pigford, but you better learn about Pigford, my friends, because this is how Barack Obama wielded the stealth reparations movement in order to get elected. And I can prove it, and John Podesta and all my friends at Media Matters sue me, because I've got the goods, I've got the video, but this isn't subtle stuff, guys. And it's imploding behind the scenes. So let's get back to the New York Marathon juxtaposition of riot police. When have you seen riot police at a tea party, by the way? Has anybody seen riot police at the tea party? There are riot police. These people are getting into their position, and they start to chant. This was off list, by the way. This was just a spontaneous naturalism from these animals. And they said, "No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace." As they're on the verge of rushing towards the riot police to enter where the Koch Foundation people are. it was an inherent threat of violence, of rushing into the place where whatever they were going to do, I don't know, but they wanted to be intimidating, and they were intimidating. So they ended up crossing the street and getting within 15, 20, 30, about 30 feet away from them. And you could look in the eyes of the riot police. They weren't as amused as I was about my rollerblade situation. And it started to get really tense. And Brandon Darby, who knows these people, is like, I'd get away from your rollerblades, because if they rush you, it's not going to be particularly fun to be an omelet. But we now had a DMZ zone. There was a DMZ, I swear to God. And I don't know why the riot police and the left allowed for me to be the sole person in the DMZ on rollerblades. I felt like I was on solid gold. I just was like, I don't know, this wasn't my ideal audience, but I still wanted to show them I still had the moves. And so we started to realize what the game was here, because the Code Pink ladies, because they're tedious at this point, and boring, it's no longer fun to watch them, and they're not even good looking anymore. It used to be that they were like kind of slutty lefties, and anyway, I could imagine at a bar. But they're getting long in the tooth. Jody Evans. They're yelling, no justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. And I went out, I roller skated up to Jody Evans, and I said, hello, Jody. This seems like a threatening act by the peaceful left against a peaceful group of conservatives who happen to just disagree with you with politics. And she said, no, this isn't, no justice, no peace is not a threat. And this is how she described it. I have it on tape. Now I'm going to put it up so you can tell, I'm going to prove that I'm telling the truth. Because it was so funny. And it showed me how inflection in language is so important. She said, no justice, no peace means if there is no justice, then the corollary is there's no peace. I go, oh, that's what these people ready for the New York Marathon, about to rush the riot police is conveying. It's just sort of just an observation about human nature and war and peace. So what happened that day? Well, my bar trick works every single time. And in the DMZ, I'm rollerblading, and I'm starting to realize there are diminishing returns. We got them being violent. We got them saying they wanted to string up Clarence Thomas, that they wanted to kill Roger Ailes, that they wanted to start a bloody revolution. And so I said, you know what? I got all the content I need to show these "We Are the Left" ask us why. I found out why, and they're not, I don't know, they're not American. I'm sorry, they're animals. And they're being organized by the president to intimidate the mass from shutting up, to shut up. And so I'm on my rollerblades, and it's time to pull my bar trick. Okay? And what did I do? I said to the crowd, okay guys, it's been a great day. Let's all go to Applebee's. And guess where they went? They went to Applebee's like the birds that they are. Thank you very much.